a little boy whose first day of school was just coming up. He was so excited. He got up in the morning and thought to himself, this is going to be the best day ever. He went into the classroom and the teacher said, hello kids and welcome to your first day of school. Today, we are going to be drawing a picture. The boy was so excited, he took out his colored crayons and started to draw. The teacher suddenly said, wait, today we will draw a flower. The kid then thought to himself, okay, I like flowers. And he started drawing a field full of colorful flowers. But the teacher said again, wait, you are going to be drawing a red flower with a green stem. The boy was a little sad because he liked his field with all sorts of flowers, but he knew he had to listen to his teacher, and so he did. The next day, the teacher said, today we are going to be using Play-Doh. The boy, excited, started to make all sorts of things, snakes, dogs, elephants. But the teacher said, wait, today we are going to be making balls using the Play-Doh. The boy smushed all his Play-Doh and started to make a ball in the shape of a square with curved edges. But the teacher said again, wait, we are all going to be making a completely round ball. The boy, a little upset because he liked his ball. He smushed his Play-Doh again and made a round ball. About a week later, his parents got a job in a different city. This meant the kid would have to go to a new school. When he first arrived, the teacher in the new school said, kids, today we are going to be drawing a picture. The little boy sat in silence, waiting for further instructions. The teacher came up to him and asked, what's wrong? The boy asked, what do we have to draw? She told him, anything you'd like to draw. The boy, confused, said, anything? She replied, yes. And then he asked, and with what colors? Any colors you want, the teacher said. The boy looked confused, but he immediately started to draw. I want you guys to guess, what did he draw? He drew a red flower with a green stem. Amazing, right? In just a few days, they made a kid lose his creativity without him even realizing it. Creativity is not about having that one-in-a-million idea. Creativity is about getting out of your comfort zone, exploring the world from a different perspective. The problem lies within us. We are the ones who deprive ourselves from being creative. We are the ones who feel we cannot be creative. Change that mindset. I assure you that you will be able to grow and expand your horizons like never before.
So, what exactly is the creative process? The first step in the creative process is preparation. This is where you begin to do all your research for your new idea. The second step is incubation. This is where you start to experiment with the idea. The third step is illumination. This is when a little light bulb pops off in your head and you say, aha, I finally have my idea. The fourth step is evaluation. This is when you begin to decide what could go wrong with my idea and what could go right. After you've done all your evaluating, you go to the fifth step, which is implementation. After you implement your idea, it has finally come to life and you actually have finished the creative process. We have all been asked to be creative at least one time in our lives. For some, it can come very naturally and they are very excited and passionate about this. But for others, it can seem like a total chore because they are not very creative people. Creativity is thought of as an individual activity where we use our minds to come up with something original. But it doesn't have to always be ideas. It doesn't always have to be something inventive. It can also be problem solving. When you have a creative mind, problem solving is actually a lot quicker for you because you are able to see a problem and approach it from different directions. There has been a study that has shown that people who are creative tend to be more successful because they see things in a different light that the other people could not have seen. Creativeness is something that people are very passionate about, and it can be inspiring and motivating to see them working on their ideas and actually bringing them to life. But if you are not a creative person, that is not a problem because creativity is actually enhanced when you work as a team. There is a spark that happens as you work with others because you are collaborating and bouncing ideas off of one another, And so, even if you get stuck, or even if you don't have an idea to begin with, it can actually be beneficial for you to work with others because even if you don't have an idea at first, you can hear someone else's idea, and because of what you heard, a new idea might pop into your head. Because team creativity is thought of as a sport, the same rules apply. The more you work on it, the better you are at it. So even if you are an individual who is not very creative and who does not actually spend a lot of time being creative, if you spend more time on it, you are more likely to become better at it, which can be a huge benefit for you because, as I previously stated, you become more successful and you are able to see things in a new light. For example, if you're a person who cannot deal with uncertainty, being a creative person can actually help you with that because with the uncertainty, people who have a creative mind are able to adapt to their new environments.
How can we enhance creativity in teams? But first of all, creativity is not just creating something. Creativity is changing things around. Okay, for example, we can have a pillow here. You see, normal pillow. Now you see another normal pillow. Who looks better? This one, right? What's the difference? Creativity in it. What makes it better? It sells better, works better, and it's the same pillow, right? Okay, how can we enhance creativity in teams? Brainstorming sessions, that's the success in many companies, and the success in teamworks, friendship projects. In every team, there has to be a brainstorming session. Why? Why is this so success? It makes it a lot better in creativity and opens your mind to your team and every person in the group. When you're working and for the first time, let's say, and a great example, us, we are all new in this university, i.e., we don't know each other yet, or some of you might know each other from past years. But making brainstorming sessions will open your mind. Well, you can express your ideas to everyone and you will be confident with it because you're not the only one doing it. It's all of them. People working under pressure, they don't work the same. And that's a human thing, it's nature. That's how we work. When we work under pressure, our brain doesn't give 100% of it. And you're not gonna express your ideas because you're gonna be afraid of saying something stupid, something awkward. So what's the point? Making brainstorming session, everyone's gonna say something. So you're not the only one that can be quiet. You have to talk. You open your mind. You will make trust with them. You will make friendship bonds with them. And then after it, you can start talking with them, making a lot better relationship. And it's not gonna feel like just work. It's gonna be like a team working to make something better, changing things like I just said at the beginning. How can we encourage our teams to work in a more creativity way? Well, this is not going to be that easy because the word itself says creativity is something going out of bounds. It's something not common. So in many teams, they don't practice this. Why? Because they make themselves like rules. Like you have to do this and you only have to do this in this way. No, that's why creativity is not something we commonly see in teams, in working members, in every team. So how can we help or encourage our teams to work more creativity? As many of you know, the unique way of them working and treating their employees and more important, their customers, right? Their service. So not any employee can work in there. Not many people that apply to the job get accepted. Why? Because the questions and in the interview of the company are not normal questions, are more personal questions. Because for a normal worker, it's not normal to get in the room or in your space of work and being to your right or your left people with awkward stuff like working in a jog a ball, making their laptops weird, and all those kind of stuff. Creativity in the Sapos company is the key. They make brainstorming sessions 3 times a week. They don't compete for a salary. They don't compete for a power authority there. It's just what people love to do, and it's not just work. That's why that success is in the Sapos
Brainstorming
company.
can be defined as a single or a group creativity technique used to find solutions to certain problems. It consists of regrouping and analyzing ideas from every single person in the group in an open manner. Brainstorming sessions are highly effective when there is a leader that guides the team through the process. Areas of interest can be related to problems, opportunities, solution options, stakeholders, risks, features, etc. Brainstorming originated after an executive was frustrated with his employees not being creative and innovative enough. He therefore decided to create group thinking sessions, which differentiated from the usual single thinking operations. Thanks to these group sessions, a significant improvement of quality and quantity could be achieved. Brainstorming emphasizes on quantity over quality in order to develop as many ideas as possible and therefore encouraging creativity. It's important to underline 4 major principles of brainstorming. Firstly, as I mentioned previously, it's important to value quantity over quality. Indeed, the numerous ideas that the team will have developed will eventually lead to concrete and straightforward ideas. Secondly, criticism should be reserved for last. Indeed, interrupting someone's train of thought is disturbing and cuts the flow of ideas. Thirdly, extreme creativity is always welcome. It's important for team members to think outside of the box and create new and crazy ideas. And lastly, as you're working in a team, it's important to create correlations between the ideas and build connections in between each team member's idea. All of these principles are extremely important and are key to a successful result. All this being said, why in the world is brainstorming so important? You might be asking yourself. Great question. Here's a little advertisement I prepared presenting the perks of brainstorming. From the top, Letty. Are you tired of thinking for hours and hours and having nothing to put on a piece of paper and being surrounded by fear? Are you tired of having to do things by yourself and having no one else to help you and thinking you're doing everything right, but you're actually not? Are you tired of trying to find solutions for problems by yourself? Are you tired of working hours and still nothing is coming? Introducing brainstorming, where you'll be able to think without the fear of judgment. Brainstorming encourages open and ongoing collaboration to solve problems and generate innovative ideas. Yay! Brainstorming helps teams generate a large number of ideas quickly, which can be refined and merged to create the ideal solution. Look at them go. What a wonderful team! Wow, amazing! Brainstorming helps team members feel more comfortable bouncing ideas off of one another, even outside of a structured session. Yay! Brainstorming introduces different perspectives and opens the door to out-of-the-box innovations. Woo! Brainstorming helps team members get ideas out of their heads and into the world. Brainstorming allows teams to reach conclusions by consensus, leading to a more well-rounded and better informed path forward. Brainstorming is great for team building. No one has ownership over the results, enabling an absolute team effort. This is the perfect example of what brainstorming can lead you to. Look at these two. Perfect. Thank you, Letty. To summarize, the core advantages of brainstorming are its abilities to unlock creativity by collaboration. It's the perfect technique to use for coming together as a team and can help to generate exciting new ideas that can take your business to a whole new level.
Brainstorming, huh? Who knew it could be so powerful? You see, there's much more to it than what you think. Have you heard of these 2 words, creativity and innovation? I bet you have. See, a creative person is nothing without the ability to innovate his ideas and actually build something. In fact, the process of being creative is just as important as innovation. They're interconnected. Innovation cannot exist without creativity. It simply can't. Allow me to share with you this example. The founder of Apple, Steve Jobs, he took already invented products such as MP3, cameras, mobile phones, and made what today looks like an iPhone. Yes, that metal object you're mostly holding to your hand. That iPhone was made by a man who used creativity and innovation to build something much bigger than what we all expected. So big, some of you are currently watching me through an iPhone. It really all comes down to those two words, doesn't it? Creativity and innovation. But of course, they're different. Creativity, by almost definition, is the use of your imagination to create an original idea. People seem to get this confused. You can be a creative person, whether that is creating music or connecting seemingly unrelated things to develop an idea. We're all creative. But innovation, my friends, is the ability to execute that idea. They work hand in hand. Studies have shown that these skills are most efficient when working with teams. Not everyone will think the way you do. That's a huge bonus. But allow yourself to work with other individuals. You're forced to share ideas and work together. There's, however, some highly recommended strategies teams should use. For instance, cultivating open communication, facilitating diverse ways of working, and holding brainstorming sessions frequently. These are all ways to enhance your team's creativity and give them the push to innovate something out of it. Just recently, 60% of CEOs recruiting stated that creativity and innovation are the most important qualities to obtain now. As more competitors rise and the market gets bigger, companies search for creative individuals that could innovate or come up with new ideas. The more you start to practice and discover your inner creative self, you will soon come to realize your true potential. It's funny, I was once inspired to build my own unique set of toys. Yeah, ridiculous. I sat down along some of my friends and sketched out these amazing characters that we brainstormed and basically made out of paper. We then made what came out to be the very first paper-made toys in the block. It was basically origami at its finest, and we made it into toys we played for all school year. Or at least that we planned. It wasn't until the rain killed our parade by destroying our origami Toys R Us. But it was a blast. You see, our spark of creativity allowed us to design the school's first and maybe last origami toys in the playground. But our use of innovation allowed us to make something out of it. Whether it was paper airplane competitions or beauty pageants with origami, we found our share of fun by simply applying the use of creativity and innovation. The words may come from different origins, but they're the driving force behind any success of any business, product, and project ever made. People that nurture creative thinking and build upon the idea are still the ones to change your life and mine and build a new tomorrow.
Genghis Khan is regarded as one of the most terrible and cruel human beings in mankind history. However, he was also the Khan of one of the biggest empires in mankind history, the Mongolian Empire. He accomplished this by unifying nomad tribes that were spread all across Northeast Asia and unified them into one gigantic, great empire. And however, there was one city that he could never conquer and would haunt him for the rest of his life. The city of Xiangyang in South China. This city was especially important because it would have given him control of South China and also expanded his territory significantly. However, as I said, he was never able to conquer it. It wasn't until his grandson, Kublai Khan, also Khan of Mongolia, he was keen on fulfilling his grandfather's legacy, his dream, as no one ever had. And so he went on to attack Xiangyang. However, he had the same problem and no new solutions. They had a gigantic wall that they couldn't tear down. And so for the first attack, he didn't plan anything for the wall. He just straight up attacked. And it completely depleted his forces and killed almost half his soldiers and half the horses. It was terrible. It was almost a massacre. And so for his second attack, because he was so keen on attacking the city and conquering it, he was planning for the wall. And while he was planning, a prisoner of the Khan called Marco Polo, you might have heard of him, he suggested something completely new that hadn't been tried in Asia or in most of the world for that matter. It was a catapult. He said he had witnessed the great Alexander use it to tear down walls and huge cities, and he said he witnessed it. However, in those times, there was a bit of a divide between Europe and Asia. Each side thought the other was a bit inferior or less advanced, at least. And so the Khan disregarded Marco Polo's idea. It wasn't until one of his most trusted advisors told him to actually give it a try, give his idea a try, because it had a lot of potential. And so he went ahead and tried these catapults, whatever they are. And so they tried them, and they were single-handedly the reason the Mongolians won the attack on Xiangyang the second time they attacked. It was literally the only reason, because they managed to penetrate the city and get soldiers in as they hadn't ever been able to because of the catapults. And it is very likely that if Marco Polo wouldn't have suggested this idea, he would have never, and the Mongolians would have never, ever conquered this city. It was most likely, or for hundreds of years. And so what I'm trying to tell you is that in teamwork, you need to be either a Marco Polo or the Khan's trusted advisor. You need to be someone that brings something new to the table, or at least encourage people who do, or support them. And so if you do this, you'll accomplish great things with your team, things that you have never been able to accomplish, just as the Mongolian Empire did when they listened to Marco Polo's idea, and as he did by thinking outside the box.